Um, Hi everyone. So, following the SQL session we held on Sunday, I sent a follow-up task on designing a result management system, and the instruction was to create a new database called result management system. And I said you don't have to use the provided name below. So inside the result management system database, you create a student table, a student profile table, and a course table, as well as a result table that contains English, math, and so on with the fields. I provided resources to the data sets that we're actually going to use, and I also talked about not discussing about foreign keys, but you should do research on it, and this is a recorded session. So today I am going to be creating I'm going to be implementing these instructions. And so just for fun, I would be using I'm not going to be using the workbench. I would be using command prompt, CMD. And so for just for fun, you can use the workbench user interface, but I'll be using command prompt, and you know, just because I want to, make it more fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is to type the MySQL command to see if I have MySQL installed. So unfortunately, it's not showing this. The reason is because um I have to add MySQL to the my environment variable. What is that? So my environment variable is where the likes of um, different language, different softwares, um, um, the path to different softwares are, especially if you want to make it part of your um, command prompt instruction. So for instance, if I type code, for instance, it's going to open um, this software called VS Code and so on. I think if I type Conda, oh no, it's not good. But there are certain keywords that if I type, it will open certain software. So the same thing with SQL. Now, for me to now for these instructions to be able to get executed, I need to register that particular software in my environment variable. And so if I want to go to my environment variable, I'll just go to my Windows startup and say env and click on OK. And so a system property is going to show up. I'm going to click on my environment variable, go to path, and I would have to register. I have some softwares here, MySQL Shell, Python, VS Code here. This is a software. This is another software. So I'm going to register my SQL directory here. And so it's just for me to go to my local disk, go to where my program files, where I look for my SQL, where I installed it, click on it, click on the server, click on bin, and just copy the file path. I will go to my environment variable path, add new, and paste the directory to this bin file in my SQL server. I'll just click on OK, and I'm done. Now, once I decide to open a new command prompt, if I say MySQL and I say dash dash version, I can see that um, my SQL version, it will tell me some properties of my SQL. Like the version is 8.0.40. So what I can then do is, if I want to log into my SQL server, I'll just say MySQL. I'll say dash u, then the username dash p, and I am done. And then I click on enter. I'll just enter my password. So it's basically like me going to my workbench and saying, what's my SQL workbench? My SQL, I'll go to workbench. This is my local instance. Clicking on it, and you can see this is my username. I'll enter my password, and basically giving me access to the server. And so when I'm done, I can then see, okay, I can then start writing SQL code. So I want to see my databases. I'll say show database or schema. Also, sorry, it's supposed to be schemas, and I'll see my schema. Now I want to create my database core result management system. Already have it here, RMS. I will just drop schema RMS, and so it is best practice that you use for SQL command. Use capital letter, but you can use small letter. It doesn't really matter. And by the time I click on enter, it has dropped. If I then go to show schemas, I don't have RMS now. Then so what I can then do is to say create schema or database, and I'll say RMS end it with a semicolon. Now the problem is, if you don't end it with a semicolon, for instance, and I just click on enter, it's going to go to the next place until I end it with a semicolon. When it's done, if I say show schemas, I can see RMS there. Now I want to start creating tables, so I'll just say use RMS, end it with semicolon, enter. You can see the database has changed to RMS, and so I can then say create table. I'll name it student, and enter. I would say admission number, NO. I would say it is a variable character, and maybe I'll say 15. I'll say it's a primary key, then comma, enter. So the reason why it is variable character is because by the time I go to my student CSV file, again, you guys should download this into your local directory, so you can see admission number, first name, last name. So this is variable character because it's both alphanumeric with a minus sign, the first name and the last name. So that is why. So and I also said here, for this purpose, it should be a primary key. Let it be the unique identifier. So when I'm done, I would say first name, and you don't have to name it. Like, you can say first name if you want, like this. It's fine. It's fine, but I think I will just name this because of it's a preference. So then the data type, which is, I'll use character. I would say 50 characters, comma, then last name. I'll also say char, then I'll say 50. Then when I'm done, enter, end it is with a bracket close, then semicolon. I can see it as executed. If I then say show tables, I think in capital letter, the show tables, I can see I have student table in RMS database. So basically, so when I want to then import my data from as a CSV file from this particular folder, this local directory, because I've downloaded it, already have it. So in my local directory. So what I can then do is to say load. I'll say load data from my local directory and in file, then the address of my file. Just going to copy this. I will paste it, and I'll say / then the file is student.csv file, just the CSV file .csv, end it like this. Then I'll say so where do I want to load it to? Into table called student. I would see so I would then start giving attributes. So for the columns, I would say terminated by a comma. So because if I go and open my CSV file, this is my CSV file, the column which is the first row of data is separated by comma. So that's basically it. Then I'll say I would say lines, for each lines terminated by a enter. So this is what, so a new line. So basically this is how you represent new line. Then I would say ignore line 1 basically, and I'm done. Then I can say enter. Now it is showing me an error that it's saying loading local file is disabled. This must be enabled on both the client and server side. So what I'm then going to do is to go to a actually to look for this local to enable this local loading of local data. So what I can then do is there's this attribute that I'll be looking for if it is on, called local_file. So if I want to see it, I'll just show variable in the show variables and the semicolon. So I have like a whole lot of things that are on and off. It's a whole lot, and well, what I'm looking for basically is local_file L. Let's go to L. Okay. So a local. So this is what I'm looking for, local file, and it is off. Now I usually, because I already know it, so what I'll just say is show variables, then I'll say like, then I'll say local_in_file, sorry. In the semicolon, I can see it is off. Now what do? I can actually change it to on. So I'll just say set global. I'll say local in file. I want it to be on, so equal to 1. So off is 0, on is 1. So you can see it has executed. And if I just say show variable like local in file, you can see it is on. And if I say if I set it equal to 0, it will go back to off. And if I say show variable like local in file, it is off. So let me just change it back to 1. Again, you really don't have to do this. Now the next thing I want to do is to run that same code again. That is my loading this file, and I'll click on enter. Now it's not telling me that this load data local in file request rejected due to restriction access. Now that is fine. What I'm just going to do is just to open a new command. a new command prompt or PowerShell if you want. I would say, remember when I wanted to log in, I'll say MySQL, I say -u, then root, which is my username, -p. Now I'm going to add an attribute called dash dash, then I'll say local underscore infile, and it will tell me password, and I've entered, and I'm good. Now if I say show databases, I would see the databases and so on. Now I'm going to do that load again. Now if I say use RMS, okay, I have to say use RMS, and I'll say show tables, and it's going to show me the table. So I'm going to load that data again. I'll say load data local, I'll say in file, then the location of my file, if I remember correctly, is here, then / I'll say students.csv ndt single quotation. I would then start telling it the kind of file it is, which is a CSV file. So I would say okay, so where am I loading it into table? What's the table? Student. That's the student table in the database, which is this one here. So I will just start telling it what to do. So for columns, I can either say columns terminated by, I can either say column terminated by, then a comma, because it's a CSV file, and CSV file are usually by comma. So I would say lines terminated by, so a new line basically is, this is a new line. Then I'll say ignore the first line or the first row. One, like either say rows or lines, or I'll say lines. Anyone is fine, but let me use rows. So why am I ignoring the first row? Because the first row is considered the column of this particular, the column title or column header. So I'll click on okay. It's telling me it has no such. Oh, interesting. Oh, and okay, the reason why that is because I think I'm supposed to use a double / or a backward slash. Let me just use backward slash instead, like this. Okay, now you can see that it has shown me query okay, 30 rows affected and so on. Now if I want to check if my data has been I've entered my data, I would use the select all the columns from student table query, run it, and you can see my my data is looking. Ooh. So I kind of noticed something, right? So my data I think is short, and I don't know why it is like that. So I'm going to go back to my SQL workbench. I'm going to refresh here and go to this place, go to my tables. So I can see my tables with so what I can then do is to just say use RMS, run it. I would say select all from the student table, select run it. Oh, so everything is complete. So this is one of the disadvantage of using command prompt, because it does not really display everything it's supposed to display for you. I just wanted to check everything has been loaded fine. So the next thing I also want to do is to create a table called student profile. So I'll say create table. I'll say student underscore profile. So what am I creating? What column am I so I'm using all of this. So seat number again, I'll divide my screen. I would say seat underscore number. I want it to be the seat number. If I go and check my data set, which is the CSV file, just to access what it looks like, open it. So I can see seat number. A seat number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. My admission number is variable character. Okay. Age is whatever. This is integer. This is date. So I think the date of birth is a problem, but we'll come there. Anyways, so I'm just going to put it like this here. So just so I can use. So my seat number is integer. Is a primary, is an auto increment. Or I'm not going to put auto increment because it's not it. There's a data for it. The primary key. Yep. When they do the comma, then I remember again. I'll just say admission number like this. I'll say variable character. I would say 15. I would say age, which is integer. I would say date of birth. Again, I'll say DOB because I don't want to type so much. DOB, the data type is date. I only do a comma. I'll say gender. I would say character, and I will just put 6 because the highest is figure, which is 6 characters. I would say grade will be varchar because it's alphanumeric. I would say maybe 5 characters. I also say email is varchar because you have different characters. Then maybe I'll just put 30 in this case because I'm not sure. I would say phone number. I would say I wouldn't say integer. I would say variable character. Maybe I'll put 15 there. Address will be text because well, in this case, since I can actually see the data, I don't need to put text. I can it's not so much. I can put varchar or even character because there's no alphanumeric value, it's just characters, it's just alphabet. Maybe I'll just put 40 in this case. I would say front name is character, and I would say 100 in this case because I can do that. I'll say parents underscore contact, and I'll say variable character. Even though it's numbers, I'll just put 20 in this case. And so I also need to set a foreign key, but I am not going to do that now. Let's say I forgot because the admission number is a foreign key to the student table here. I'll explain what foreign keys are. So a foreign key basically is a primary key in another table. In this case, this admission number is referring to this admission number in the student table. So basically a foreign key. So this is like a representation of this table in this new table here. And everything that matches whatever admission number is there matches. So I can call first name, last name of the student in this student profile table. That's basically what it is. In the next session I will explain further. So I am then going to say comma. Now I'll say foreign key. and I'll say bracket open. I'll say admission number is the foreign key. Number is the foreign key here. I'll say references to the student table, then admission number in the student table. Yeah, I think I'm done. So I'm referring to the student table, which I just have here. Then I'm referring to this admission number here, and then I think I am done. I'll enter. You can see it has been created, so you can see show tables. And then anyway, so I now have two tables. So if I think I can say if I want to see the attributes of that cable, let me see. I think there is how I can actually check it. But if I go here, because you guys are using this, so if I come to the UI, I will just do a refresh and I'll see the student profile. You can see that the seat number is the primary key and the admission number here is highlighted as a tick. They say what is it? If I click on the student profile table, you see for foreign keys, if I click on it and I then click on the student profile, whatever this is, you can then see that the student table admission number is mapped to this admission number on the student profile table. Basically, is a way of creating a relationship between these two tables. So if I then decide to view select all from the student underscore profile, just to see my table. I'm going to get an empty because I don't have anything there. So then I'm now going to load my data. Where am I loading it from? The same place, but is student underscore profile.csv. So I'll just change this. Student underscore profile. I'm loading it into the student underscore profile table, and you can see it has been affected. How did I get this same code without having to type? I'll just press my up button. Basically, it will just show me old codes that have been there. Again, you really don't need to use this. It doesn't really matter. Then I can then do a select all from the student table, and I'll just see my table has been everything is looking right in my table. Oh, interesting. So everything is looking right. Then if I come here and I do like a right click and do select rules, first 1000 rules, and so I can actually interact with it visually just to see the table. I need to create the query for me. You can see I've already uploaded it. So the DOB unfortunately is showing me 00. The reason is because I am supposed to format this correctly. This is supposed to be the year, the month, and the day. I think that's how SQL accepts it. So what I'm then going to do to correct this is to go back to the folder, right click on it and open it with a spreadsheet, and I'll just format it correctly. I will format this correctly by using date and clicking on OK. Oh, and let me see. Yep, this is what I want. Yep. And I'm going to see it. And if I open it using oh, so it has messed up with this. which I didn't want to. Oh, this is interesting. I think there's a problem here. You know what? I think I have the database somewhere here. Um, um, Let me format it well. Oh God, I've messed up with this data. Even though, okay, cool. Okay, so I think what I can do here is to copy this. Okay, Control C. Going to paste it somewhere here. Fortunately, or let me see. I would go to Notepad. I would paste it here. I am going to change the 2348 to just 8. Place all 234 to 2. Yeah. So now that I've done that, I'll just Control C, copy it. Just going to paste it here like this. Okay, so I don't want to do scientific, I just want it to be general. So I'm going to save it, and yeah, everything looks like that. Now I would load this data again. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so I'm gonna load this data again and let's see what happens. Then let me see it again. Okay, so it's still showing me the same thing. Okay, so I think I'm going to drop this table. I'll drop the, or I would say delete from. Basically, I'll say delete from student underscore profile. I'm not going to give any command. I want to delete everything. So I just, yeah, so by the time I select, I'm going to get an empty. So I'm just deleting every rules from the student profile table. I'm going to load it again. It has loaded. And if I check, oh, the date of birth is still the same thing. It's not supposed to be like that. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to access okay. Let me access the student profile again. Oh, I didn't correct it. Interesting. So let me go back. It's supposed to be corrected. Did I by interesting? Oh, I thought I did. Control 1. Let me change it to this format. This is the format SQL accepts. I'll Control S, save it. I'll open it in, yeah, so everything looks fine. I'll come back here, I'll load the file, then I'll check, and now I have my date corrected. So it takes year, month, and date. That's how SQL's this is SQL's acceptable date format. So the next thing I'm going to do is to do the courses. So I'm going to create a table for the courses. So I'll say create table. Now, what I can do, right, is to right click here and create a table if I like. I can right click and create table data import wizard if you want. And basically I'll just go here and just create a table for this. I mean, it's a new table. I want to name it course, or not just a course. I don't need existing. I want to create a new table. I'll click on enter. This is not text. This is actually want to make it variable character, but there is no variable character here. It's just either text. So just leave it text. Course name to should be text. I click on next. I click on next. Now if I then go back to my show table, so I'll say show tables, I then have another table called courses, and if I say select everything from courses, I can see my data, right? So so I'm supposed to make my course code a primary key here as well, because based on the instruction, my course code here is also supposed to be a primary key here. So I didn't do that. How do I do that? I can do it using the UI, right? Just do a refresh, come to course, I'll right click, go to I think there's a proper table inspector, right? And I can set indexes. This should be primary key if I want, right? Click, oh, no, columns. So I think I can actually set this. I don't want to create index. I don't want to create trigger. Yeah, so I think I can set this to be primary key. Yeah. So I can't type here, but I can. I've forgotten how to do that. Oh, I can alter the table, right? Yeah, so I will make this a primary key by clicking here. And so it's not null. Yeah, primary key should normally be null, and then I can apply. And when I apply, okay, so what's the same? So I don't know why there's an error, right? But what I can do is actually to do it using code. I'll say alter table. I can say set column. No, I can say modify. I'll call the name of the column, which is cost. I'll say it is variable character because I want to make it variable character, and maybe I'll say it's 10, and I'll say primary key, and I can, if I like, I would say not null, right? It's telling, oh, I remember why I cannot do this. The reason is I have to go and set my preferences somewhere here. I think I remember why I come here. Oh, I can't. So why is it showing me error? Okay, it's telling me check manual. The course will not null outline this. Okay, cool. Let me remove the not null. Okay, I think let me do this. Oh, still getting an error. This is interesting. Why is that? Okay, so I'll say select all from course, right? Okay, so I would say alter table. Table is course. I'll say modify. I'll say modify course underscore code. What I want to modify to variable character, I'll say 10, right? 10 bits. I run it. Oh, it worked fine. I don't know why it didn't work fine before. In fact, I can see I also want to change the course name to variable character. Let me see. Interesting. Oh, it's not course name, so what is it? Yeah, oh, course. Oh, unfortunately, it is course name like this. Dodge. Unfortunately. I think it's double quotation, sorry. Double quotation, not single. So the course name has the course name unfortunately has like a space. Oh, it didn't work. Why is that? Or maybe it's single quotation. Yikes. It didn't work. It's interesting. Hmm. I have to change the course name to underscore course name. Let me browse that. How do I do that? Oh, so I think is I have to use this. Oh, interesting. Actually, I have to use this. This is the character where tilde is after escape. There's this character there. Oh, this is it's okay. So the very I would say 20 because the character is long. No, I actually don't have to say batch. I'll just say character. Yeah, it works fine. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to say modify this. Then I'll say this primary key. That's for my course code is varchar, right? Is 10. I'll say it's primary key, and it worked fine. I don't know why it didn't work. The thing I also want to do is also to rename. I want to rename the rename course, this course name to basically to this. I'll say to course name. Yeah. No reason why this is showing me error. I run it and see. Oh, rename column. Sorry. Supposed to say rename column. Sorry about that. Aha, so rename column from. Oh, it did work. Then if I check this, I can see custom. So everything looks fine. But I didn't know why it wasn't working on command prompt. Oh, I really didn't know. So if I run this like this, everything works fine. The next thing is actually going to create different tables for different courses, and I'm too lazy to do that. Basically too lazy. So I think I'm just going to use so this assessment I have to run all of this create table. You know, I'm too lazy to do that. I'll just use this import, click on my table, import data. What I want to import is okay, so no, this is not where I want to go to. This is where I want to go to. Yeah. So again, I'll just do this because I'm so lazy. Integer this, yeah. This is not text, but well, what can I do? I'll just leave it as text. I'll change it later. Next. This is fine. Finish. If I refresh, I'm going to see the table there. Agree. Out. Again, that's because I'm too lazy. Next. Yeah, everything looks okay. Next. Finish. Again, I'll just do that repeatedly. I can change what I need to change later. I'm so lazy. Actually didn't think I could do this, so if I refresh, I'm going to see them as we go. Chem, signs, next, finish. I really am not going to check what I've done. So science, I unfortunately cannot. Next, finish. English will be this. I think I'll have a lot to correct here, but for the moment, I don't mind. So this is geography, literature. Next. I have a lot to correct, but at the moment I don't mind. I can do them. It's it will be easier for me to create the tables myself manually, but like I said, I'm too lazy. Really do not have the bandwidth, and or personally, I don't have the bandwidth, especially if you are trying to solve problems. It usually processes, especially in the field of analytics, don't really bother a lot of people to use result. People say I use this method, people don't really care. Whatever method you use, people don't care, frankly. Okay, so I have 10 courses: TD, literature, math, physics, English, geography. So let me count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I have much more than so 1, 2, 3, 4. I have maths twice. I don't know why. I think okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Physics is twice. I really don't know why that is. Okay, it's 1 now. So now if I then go to my command prompt and just say show tables, I have like all these tables, right? So I then have to start altering. So like if I go to my table, I need a way to talk to my table. My course code has to be, and the student, like I need a way to talk to my table and relate all of these tables. Now let me show you guys something. There's what they call entity relationship diagram. It's a diagram that shows I'm not interested in this. It's a diagram that shows the relationship between your tables. So it's going to create a relationship between my table. And so the only relationship I have now is just between my student profile and my student, and that's because this admission number is here. If I click, and it's also here, and that's because I've made it a foreign key. Now I'm supposed to be able to connect this course to all of these courses and this student to the admission number, because if I come here and go to let me see, go to individual data, you can see this student coincides with this admission number here. Let's verify it is student here. It coincides with this admission number here. Can you see that? Let me bring it into perspective so you guys can see. So this admission number here coincides with this. Then this course code is the course code of this this course code TDS2, right? Now I said we should create for the result, the ID is a primary key, the course code is a foreign key, that's the foreign key to this course table, and the student is a foreign key to this student table here. So now we have to create that relationship. Now, so what I'm going to do now is to alter. I have to do some altering. So I'll say alter table. I'll say modify. I'll say alter table. I'll recall the name of the table. So I'll start from Agric. I'll say modify. What am I modifying? The cost. I'm modifying this course code here, right? For all the courses. So course underscore code. I would see it will be variable character. I'm going to go 10. I'm going to say foreign key. I would say, what is a foreign key? What is it? So, sorry. I have to set a foreign key. Oh, so I will say add constraint. Sorry. I'll say add a constraint. Add constraint. I'll say, and I'll give the name of the constraint. I'll say foreign key underscore course. No, I think that's the constraint I'll add. I'll not say foreign key. Foreign key. I would say, what's the foreign key? The foreign key is, oh, actually don't even need to say this. Yeah, I think I do. Because I also want to change the data type from variable character, from text to variable character. So I would say, course underscore code. I would say reference to course, then course code. That's the course table, then course code column. I think I'm done. Most likely will give me an error. I wonder why. Okay, so I think I would do this. I'm not going to do the modify yet. I'll just do this. So the course code using this without a key length. Yikes. Okay, so I'll first do the modification. Yep. Okay, that's modified. Then I would remove the modification. and I'll say that has worked, which is fine. So then also I want to alter this table. And I also want to modify the ID. The ID, I want it to be primary key. So it's integer then primary key. So it has worked. And the next thing I also want to do is add a constraint called the student. So the foreign key will be student in my, so to the student, then it will be related to my student table, then my admission number. Yep. Okay, so why is it showing me an error? Oh, so I also need to alter the student from text to variable character. Varchar, then maybe I'll just set it to be 20. I think it worked. Then this foreign key, if I do it should work. Now, what have I done? I think if I refresh, can I refresh this? Oh, this is my entity relation. There's no refresh here, right? Now, so what have I done? I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to do reverse engineering again. Please don't do this if your PC is not INPC. It's going to delay and you will hate yourself. You really hate yourself. Trust me. So if you look at it now, I've created a relationship between, let's see, before it was 2, now it's now 3. Oh no, I think it's with Agric. Yeah, Agric is somewhere. Focus. Yeah, so I've created a relationship now between my student actually and the course. So you can see my course is here. So between the student and the course, I've created that relationship. And if you look at it, this is the primary key here. The ID, the primary key, that's where you are seeing a key. If I zoom at it, you will see something like a key. And so it is necessary that your database, your data should not be standing alone per se. You are not supposed to have data that stand alone. You are supposed to have relationship basically. And let me see. In terms of relationship in SQL, there are two different types of relationship, or they call them schema. There is the star schema and the snowflake schema. I think we'll discuss a lot about that and how. So it's to show how your data are related together and in what format. And so I'm going to do for literature and so on and so forth. So let me go back and do. So this is Agric, right? Modify ID. So I'm going to change this to bio. I'll click on enter, work fine. I'll then go to this, I'll say bio. Then I've written the code already, so I really don't need to Yeah, I also need to change the bios, the student in the biology, and I'll do this. Um, okay, so I think the foreign key has been FK student. Okay. Oh, it means I should change the name. Foreign key student, I would say bio. So it worked. So I can then do the same thing for I think after bio is chem. I'll do that of chem. I'll repeat the same process for chem. But please don't. I advise you to go through the normal route. Don't use mine. This will be chem. This will also be chem. Please go through the normal route. Oh, there's also course code, right? Uh, I forgot that of the course code. Now the course code is here. Let me just copy. Because I'm too lazy. I will paste it here. I would say this would be chem. Oh, so I'm supposed to alter chem. Oh, the course code here as well. Course underscore code. I think I'll just put 10 here. I'll do this chem. Course code chem what? And I think I didn't do for bio. And therefore I'm just going to do for bio. Okay, so I'll do this for bio then. But I don't think I did it for bio. Then I'll do this thing to work. Now if I go back to my entity relationship diagram, do reverse engineering. Again, don't get confused. I guess you guys will have a lot of questions to ask and I'll be happy to ask them. Everything is fine, and so you can then see my relationship is getting increasingly interesting. So this is what they call a star schema. Actually, this is what they call a snowflake, not a star schema. They call it a snowflake. I'll do this here. So I think I got done quickly. Yeah. Then I'm going to now chemistry. Then only do not have open interesting. You can see so we have biology, chemistry as it all having relationship to this, and this is what they call a snowflake schema. So you know the way snowflake is if for places that have snow, you see the flake, it looks, and this is what a snowflake looks like. It's called snowflake for the reason that the snowflake look like snowflake. So the picture was snowflake. Basically, a snowflake look like this. It has many the center, there are many tentacles. So basically, this is what it looks like. If you have a center which is this with many tentacles, so this is one tentacle that is linked to another, and so on and so forth. That's why we call them snowflake. So I'm going to do the same thing to everything here, and hopefully you see that in the next maybe 5 minutes, I think.